Hey, and welcome back to
Scarfie
TV. I'm Tristan.
And I'm Anna. Tonight on the show, we talked to some of the guys in the Otago rugby team.
We interviewed Minuit.
We check out open mic night.
And Scarfie TV goes surfing in Prue.
But right now, we're going to take a look at student voting.
Have you voted in the USA elections? Please do.
Student apathy abound. Only about 6% of students actually vote in the elections. However, these elections have a lot to do with the general day-to-day runnings of student life outside of lectures.
As at Tuesday the 21st of August at lunchtime we had around 1,400 students who voted. At this rate it's a steady stream of voters. Not as spectacular as last year unfortunately, but nonetheless we anticipate we'll have somewhere between 3,000 and 3,500 votes cast by the end of the election at 4 p.m. on Thursday the 23rd of August.
Yes, you can vote online. No, you don't have to vote for every section, and if you vote at the link, you get all the info you need and a free sweetie. But the people behind the desk can't tell you who to vote for. So, if you don't vote, you can't complain if there's nobody to stand up for you when things turn to custard. So get proactive. It only takes a minute. Vote.
Anna and I were walking past Club in Socks, and I thought, hey, $3 lunch. So I said, I want to check it out. Anna goes, it's vegetarian. And I thought, what the
Enjoy, don't forget your diesel.
Can I just have a $3 lunch?
The $3 lunches actually started off as vegetarian cooking classes because I thought it would be a good way of teaching people about nutrition, about animal rights, about karma, about protecting God's creation. And people found out that we had the food. It grew very quickly to the $3 lunch, and now we have 150, 200 people a day turning up to be fed. But still the goal's the same, the principle behind it is to teach people how to respect God's creation and how to love not only our fellow human beings but the animals as well. So we figure this is a pretty nice way of getting the message across. And for $3 to get a completely balanced, nutritious meal, nobody's complaining. And as they say, the proof of the pudding's in the eating. And the fact that 200 people turn up to eat it, I think, speaks for itself, yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
How long? I've been doing it in Dunedin for 10 years. Actually came down here for a break, and Krishna had other plans.
Yep.
But I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing, and long may it last. I'm training up a new crew, so hopefully when I get too old and have to retire, they can carry on in my footsteps. Well, we're here Monday to Thursday, 10 o'clock till 2:30, sometimes 3 if we're still cleaning up afterwards. You're welcome to rock up, and if we've got food, we'll feed you.
Guys, often do you guys come here and have the lunch?
Not too often, just every, once every couple of weeks or something. 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah?
Maybe once or twice a week.
About 3 times a week on average.
Maybe twice a week or twice a week maybe.
Twice a week?
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a week.
Do you come here?
Every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay, so pretty much every day?
This is my debut actually.
How about you, man? First time? First time?
Probably about, this is probably about my fourth time, maybe fifth.
Sweet, so you're basically showing your mates around?
Yeah, I'm showing them the ropes.
Yep.
Today is pasta with coconut cream, tomato and green beans, and healthy apple crumble. Tomorrow is rice with vegetables, broccoli, carrots, potatoes,
Tuesday,
mildly curried vegetables and apple crumble. Wednesdays is our famous fresh baked wholemeal bread with soup, barley, lentil and vegetable soup, and chocolate and vanilla pudding. And Thursdays is rice with lentils, coconut cream, tomato, mixed veggies and apricot and vanilla semolina pudding, which is totally delicious. And then every day we have these extra things here, the puris, which are a deep fried inflatable bread. These are pakoras, KFP, Krishna fried potatoes, tastes way better than the other stuff. And these are samosas, like a pastry with vegetables inside of them. Really delicious, and they're good for people who are in a hurry because they can just grab one and eat it on the run.
Tonight we find out why it is important to register yourself on the electoral roll.
With local body elections just around the corner, Scarfie TV decided to pay a visit to the local electoral office located on Moray Place. We talked to Pam Jordan and Dee Vickers, the two ladies in charge of ensuring that Dunedin's democratic system is in spick and span order.
My name is Pam Jordan. I'm the electoral officer for the Dunedin City Council, the Otago Regional Council and the Otago District Health Board.
I'm Dee Vickers. I'm the Registrar of Electors for Dunedin North and Dunedin South electorates. And basically here we are basically the caretakers of the electoral rolls for those two electorates.
They stress the fact that changes to the electoral roll must be done by this coming Friday.
We're constantly updating people's details, where they live, change of name, so that they can be correctly enrolled on the electoral rolls. It's really important at the moment that this is done by Friday close of business this week, so that they will be eligible to be voting in the local body elections on the 13th of October.
Unlike the national vote, the regional elections are done by a postal vote. Therefore, it is extremely important that voters ensure their details are correct.
We take our data from Dee's parliamentary electoral rolls. So basically we're reliant on people actually having their details correct. So as I said earlier, the local body elections are conducted by postal votes, so the voting papers go out to the address at which you're enrolled. So if you've actually changed house and haven't actually updated your parliamentary electoral roll details, unfortunately your voting papers will go to the old address.
However, if your local voting papers do not arrive in the mail, there is still hope for your democratic right.
You can still vote. You can cast a special vote, come into the City Council offices during the electoral period, which is the 21st of September to the 13th of October, and you can cast a special vote at that point.
Overall, Pam and Dee would love to see as many people signed up correctly to the roll to ensure an exciting and fair regional election. Roland for Scarfie TV.
Prue and Hazel investigate problems with Dunedin sewage.
Prue and I spoke to Mike Hilton, Coastal Management Lecturer, and Brian Turner from the DCC. We asked them about the new sewage upgrade.
The council has not committed a lot of money over the years, over many years, and like many small coastal settlements, they're catching up in terms of the treatment of waste. There were really two issues when the proposal was being developed. The first was whether to treat this, the sewage to a higher standard before it was discharged. And then the second option was really to discharge it further offshore and to partially treat the waste by dilution.
At the moment the beach is closed sometimes due to like currents and winds. Is that still going to happen in the future?
It's possible that it will do, and the council tries to model where the waste stream will end up in different marine conditions, depending on where the waves are coming from.
This pipe will certainly help considerably or prevent the closure of beaches.
Yeah.
Because it's going up much further than Roy's Head discharge, and also because it's going through properly designed diffusers which mix and dilute the wastewater as it enters into the environment.
It's a really dynamic coastline and there's heaps of erosion and lots of things are changing. Is that going to affect, because a lot of money is being spent, like 25 million to build the pipeline, is it a sensible idea for a coastline that's so changeable?
Well, I mean, if you step back to some of the larger options, one of them was to try and discharge the waste, the treated waste, to land, and the council decided that was too expensive and technically not feasible. So that leaves the council with really just one option, and that is to discharge the waste further offshore. Now, the contentious element, as I said before, was whether the waste should be treated to a higher standard before it was discharged. There's really no relationship with sediment change, the sediment dynamics on the coast. One's a water quality issue and one's about the geomorphology of the coast. So the erosion won't really be important.
The answer to that, it's a philosophical discussion which needs to be seriously looked at in the future very hard, because we do tend to we require a design life, whereas in the turn of last century it wouldn't have been. They just sort of think, well, we'll build it and get on with it.
Yeah.
Now we require a design life. And this may well last 75 years.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. We're saying design life 50 years.
I guess one technical challenge the council faces is maintaining a pipeline on a very energetic coast.
Yeah.
And there are some issues around keeping that pipeline in place.
Yeah, and making it stable to put in the ground in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've actually tunnelled under the dunes, emerged on the seafloor and then connected it to a pipe, or in the process of doing so.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be finished at the end of next year.
I understand.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Why don't the council treat the sewage to a tertiary level and extend it further? Why is the decision they've made the one they've come up with?
Well, it's arguable, and they contend that they get a better result, or will get a better result, by discharging the waste further offshore, almost a kilometre, diluting the waste, rather than, in terms of banks for bucks, treating to a higher standard first, and then having to also extend the pipeline in a sort of second phase. So they do intend, in the near future, to treat the waste to a higher standard.
No, I think it's been pretty well agreed right back from 1992 that we would go to a disinfected secondary stage.
Yeah.
Tertiary, it's sometimes that word's used, sometimes not. I tend to just call it disinfected secondary.
And do you think it's because they're spending the money on other things, or why do you think it is that they're not treating it to the highest standard they could?
Well, the budgeting exercise is always contentious and political, and I guess if we look beyond the city just for a moment and beyond the Dunedin City Council, there has been a preference by politicians to spend money on glossy, shiny icons and developments rather than water pollution and waste treatment.
It's not the nicest thing that people like to think about and consider.
No.
It's very easy to ignore and just to accept that sewage is something that just happens, but it still has to compete with other things within council for money and stuff.
And for what other people want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
My
It's
pleasure,
been
Hazel.
most informative.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
We meet two Otago rugby players and we question them on how professional sport affects their student lifestyle.
These guys are students, but not your everyday students. They're also on the Otago rugby team. So how does playing professional sport affect the typical student lifestyle?
Yeah, well, it sort of cut it down a wee bit, don't do as much drinking during the week, and that with the trainees you can't really afford to. Yeah.
There's a commitment thing. I think when we got picked into the team, it kind of changed our whole lifestyle. So when you're out there, you're representing the team and you can't really get yourself down, or you're in the public's eye, so you've got to behave yourself, we could say.
As for a trip down to the Willowbank for chicken and chips?
Yeah, well, we've got a nutritionist and she sort of makes sure we're on track in that, and you have meetings with her now and then just to check what you're eating and making sure you're getting enough good nutrients in that, good food, good tucker.
Yeah, I think it's just the wee things now. I think we're all pretty good, and just some guys have got to get a bit bigger and that, so just extra supplements and stuff that we couldn't quite get our hands on before we made the team, which is an extra bit of help, which is excellent. So.
But does this abstinence of student pleasures pay dividends on the rugby field?
Yeah, probably different levels. Like the level that we're playing at, you have to be as big and as strong as you can. Yeah. I suppose you can't really feel yourself.
Yeah, it's more for recovery as well. Like if you're eating the wrong foods and then the next day you're sort of doing trainings and that, you probably just blow out if you're eating the wrong foods. So if you get on top of that, you're right.
However, the boys do admit that there is still time for some team bonding, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, we do the job for us, and then you can always celebrate afterwards. I think we've got the philosophy where we work hard and then play hard and always leave a bit of time for fun. So, that's the routine we take.
There's a few court sessions now and then on a Saturday night after a game, especially if there's a win, sort of have a few beers.
I'm Roland, reporting for Scarfie TV.
Oi, you, don't drink and drive, you manas.
G'day, I'm Craig Ginty from the To Be Advised Theatre Trust. We've just been touring this roadshow around South Otago. It's
based on a fatal accident that happened a year and a half ago. About 12 young kids, and it was total carnage really. A young guy, a builder's apprentice by the name of Regan Devlin, died in the accident, and so we've just been touring this around the place, showing the car wreck where the guy was killed, and just trying to bring awareness to road safety. All the factors involved in this accident were pretty much everything that could go wrong went wrong. Car was unwarranted, it was illegally modified, it had the springs lowered, the suspension, so when it clipped a culvert at 170 k's an hour, it and the car it was racing were airborne because of their modified suspension, and just resulted in a massive crash. There was drinking involved as well, and yeah, so just a complete disaster really. And so we're just bringing awareness to drinking, speeding, driving, all that sort of stuff, and hopefully people will change their behaviour.
Cool. Were you guys taking this, well, basically were you guys touring like the whole South Island, or?
We've just been South Otago. We've been sort of based in Mcleod, but just all around the region there for 2 weeks, and now we've got 4 weeks here in Dunedin. We're taking it mostly to schools and other training institutions, just targeting a youth audience. And so 4 weeks in Dunedin, then 1 week in Central Otago. And at this stage, that's all we've got funding for. Hopefully it will travel further afield, but see what happens.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's about it really. Yeah, it's we're just trying to bring a bit of reality to young people about, you know, it's never safe to speed or travel unwarranted, and drinking and driving, all the stuff that everyone's heard before, but especially young kids don't seem to be able to apply it to themselves unless they get this sort of graphic presentation. So that's it really.
Cool.
Apparently, Scarfie TV was at the open mic night.
We're here with Alistair from Backstage, who organise, initiate, host the open mic night. Hey man, how's it going?
Good, bro. Yeah.
Tell us about it, the open mic night.
Well, it's just an open event for just anyone who performs sort of poetry, music, or spoken word, just anything. It's sort of creative to come along and sign up. You know, I encourage everyone to give it a go, and then if they're getting up there and playing covers, then I'll probably give them a word and be like, you know, that's great, and you know, feel free to get up each week doing that. But you know, I encourage you to start writing songs.
How long have you guys been doing this?
Well, since the start of last year, we started it at the Albert Arms,
yep.
And where I just first approached them and got that going, and then started working there and covers band as well. And so had a lot of involvement there for a year and a half, and it just closed. And so we had to find a new venue, and
yep.
And Daryl at Backstage is a good guy, and I'd run a show there before, and it's a great venue. So we got the chance to move over there.
Is it a good way to pick up chicks, you know, playing a bit of rock and roll? And
that's the casual question.
It's a little perks of the, you know, I mean.
Yeah, I've been talking lately with my girlfriend about how that's slightly, I guess, overrated, or just a bit of a myth about some of this stuff. I don't know, like, it definitely is an opportunity to meet new people, which I like.
Best time to
think of our disgraceful performance last Tuesday.
It was magic, yeah. Like particularly the Alicia Keys, I thought was like gold, and it was amazing. The standards really high at open mic, and it sometimes I think freaks people out. And since you guys were just a bit more casual and had a good time, it actually got a bunch of people jumping up that weren't so willing before. So it had an interesting impact. It was pretty cool.
Is there anything else you want to say?
Just to come over and give it a try. And I guess on a Tuesday, you often think about staying inside and staying warm. But yeah, it's just a really fun night. People have been giving us good feedback, and it's well worth just coming and checking out and being part of it, because we're really, I guess, looking to build a cool thing with good intentions behind it. So yeah,
that's cool, man. Well, thanks, Alistair, for talking to us.
Cheers, Jack.
And check out Open Mic Night Tuesdays at Backstage.
Last Friday, Minuit played at Refuel. Scarfie TV went along to check out the gig.
It's French for midnight, and often it's kind of spelt like this. Ruthie made this logo up, but it's M-I-N-U-I-T, and so people say minute or minuet.
Minute.
Minute. So we have to put the Minuit spelling on the end. It's on all the posters and the albums and things like that, but, the pronunciations of the thing. Yeah, but it's actually just French for midnight, and we came up with that name and always meaning to change it, but it's stuck now, and that's who we are, man.
I always really liked Nina Simone. She was always kind of a real cool hero to me. I thought she was quite cool and stuff like that.
I actually quite like energy in music and sort of dynamic and stuff, and so you can pick that up in lots of genres. It can be in the breakbeat or the drum and bass thing. Drum and bass can be crap as well as it can be good, even though it's the same thing basically. And so lots of guitar bands as well. Like I really like the Block Party stuff when it came out, the first album and things like that. That kind of had quite an emotion to it and a sort of a driving kind of energy to it. We did start announcement. I think that's helped us a lot, coming from maybe a not so, you're not in the limelight so much there, and so we were able to kind of do heaps of gigs and make heaps of mistakes and work out what it actually was that Minuit was trying to do, what the style and the sound, and whereas I've seen a lot of bands who jump up in Auckland or even Wellington and they're suddenly in this limelight, or they'll, they're picked on as the new big thing and stuff, and they don't really get a chance to just develop and work out what it is they're trying to do. And so for us it helped kind of being in the periphery quite a lot.
Oh, for sure, right.
And so by the time that you do end up playing, you've actually got this thing that you've figured out what it is you're trying to do and how you want to play it.
And I kind of think everyone's first few songs are always going to be embarrassing. Like, some songs, they should die. And it's quite lucky if they've been able to live and die before anyone actually knew. It's kind of really quite good.
Or people look maybe at Minuit now and say, oh, you're playing in Berlin next weekend. Oh, you're so lucky, It's like, oh, I wish I could do that. It's like, you don't understand. It was 1998 when we started doing this thing, and now it's 2007 or something mental,
So that's it for tonight. So we'll see you in 2 weeks after the break. Have a great holiday.
Just watching Scarfie TV.